California Spring Trials is Fashion Week for our industry, or maybe you can think of it like the auto show, a chance to see many of the coolest new products available for upcoming seasons. Dozens of global breeding companies and innovative plant introduction companies set up along the California coast in early spring to showcase new crops that have been in development for years, even decades. New series, additions, upgrades, and sometimes brand new plants are grown out and discussed in detail for the better part of a week to drive interest from visiting growers, retailers, and distribution companies. It's also a time to catch up with old friends, solidify strategic partnerships, and revel in the beauty created by our industry. We've done this for decades and we'll do it again in 2026 from March 24th to 27th. Registration is managed by the National Garden Bureau, and you can sign up to secure your spot at caspringtrials.us. In fact, registration is essential. A quick reminder before we get started. New for this year, if you're visiting a location with more than one exhibiting company, like most of them, registration by location means you register for all companies when you schedule your appointment at caspringtrials.us. But be sure to allocate plenty of time for stops with multiple companies. One click doesn't mean one quick visit. Take, for example, the Head Start Nursery Stop or the Santa Barbara Polo Club. You can register for the location, but you'll need to allocate time for all of the exhibiting companies, and that can mean as many as 100 new varieties. Last but not least, check out the suggested itineraries at caspringtrials.us. If 2026 will be your first time visiting the trials, or you haven't been in a few years, they will be very helpful. Let's hear about some of the things you'll see and experience at Spring Trials this year. I'm your host, Bill Calkins, and today, as part of our Spring Trials preview mini-series, I'm here with Scott Mozingo from Express Seed to hear about what the company has in store for us this March. This will be a quick conversation, but hopefully it inspires you to register and start thinking ahead as you plan your crop mix for the future. Scott, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Bill. Glad to be here.
And every trial location is unique. And where you guys are displaying this year is one of my favorite stops. So I'm excited to have Express in the mix. So can you talk a little bit about where exactly you're displaying? You're kind of a new stop for Spring Trials, although the company's not new, but displaying at Spring Trials is a new venture for you guys. So where are you displaying, and what is the goal, and why did you decide to be a participant at Spring Trials this year?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, we're not a new company by any stretch, and people have probably seen the Express Think Plants partnership as a cast staple for years. We're really excited to be able to join Joey and team Danziger at the Head Start stop, right there at the top of the list, starting at the north and moving down. We're going to have we'll have a nice size display featuring some of the new genetics that we're bringing to market, kind of introducing folks to Express again in a way to let people see the Express way of doing business. We're going to showcase some of our distribution partnerships, some exclusive genetics, and new things that we're bringing to the market.
That'll be good. And I think it's a good message for Spring Trials considering the audience. And like you said, Express has definitely been around, but I know you guys are doing big things and are excited to talk about them. And that's what Spring Trials is for. When you think about what it takes to put on an event like Spring Trials, and I know you've done this before, you and I have worked side by side doing this before, but thinking specifically about what Express is planning for this year, what does it take to get that going? Maybe a little bit about being a new participant and what that looks like. And most importantly, what do you think attendees will gain from visiting Express at the Head Start site?
Yeah, it is a lot to put on. I'm thankful for this first year. We're not taking on, a giant display space. We've got a really nice area that we're going to be showing off some of the products and thinking about for Express, we bring a huge group of people to this event. So we've been a supporter of CAST for a long time. It's nice that now that we've got some of these strategic partnerships for distribution and exclusive products, to have an actual stop where people can really get to know who is Express. You see the bus move down, you might be leaving to get out of the way of the big group. And even at Cultivate, we're so split up. Express Seed has a booth, but there's the In Bloom booth and the Think Plants booth. you don't often see everything in one spot. So I'm really excited about having the chance to really get a first look at Express, the distribution company, and Express, the partnerships that we have in the industry. Putting it together, boy, it was weeks of prep and ongoing preparations. I'd have to say, being our first year, we're still buttoning some things up. But first and foremost, we were excited to be able to approach the distribution partners that we have with this opportunity. Bull Genetics, ABZ, these are companies that we work very closely with. Some exclusive distribution with Cherny Seed Company from the Czech Republic. First time any of their genetics are going to be seen at an event like this. So getting those meetings together, figuring out, what we want our message to be, what products we want to show and how we want to show it. And additionally, in addition to great looking products, the signage and all of that kind of stuff, like that's the last minute details that really help all of our visitors understand exactly what we're showing and why.
It's true. And it is, it really is a full team effort that's required because of all those messaging points and obviously getting the product produced and into the country. What are the genetics from the Czech Republic? I'm not familiar with that company.
Yeah, so Cherny Seed Company, a lot of people are going to say they're not familiar with them. They're a 160-year-old seed breeding company. So they have been through a lot, they have seen a lot, and they do a lot of seed bedding crops. So things that you'd be familiar with, salvias, begonias, petunias. They have actually one of my favorite crops, and it's been challenging to communicate this to the grower. They are a breeder in seed geraniums, dark foliage and standard green. But the most interesting one that I think that we're going to be showing is their Calkins series, which is seed sterile. So in seed geraniums, a lot of times you're out there cleaning because as soon as the bloom is spent, you're taking those seed heads off to keep the plant from putting energy into making seeds. Because these are seed sterile, that umbel just sort of disappears. There's no seed set. So it really turns it back into a bedding plant that doesn't take nearly as much maintenance, and even in a container. So they are really working on some innovative crops. I think you're going to start seeing a little bit more of them in trials across the country this season. So we're really happy to have California grown, good looking products to show everybody. And then you can see how well they hold up in the regions this year.
That's cool. Thanks for educating me. I wish I'd not heard of that company, but 160 years is no short period of time to be around. So I'm sure those genetics are amazing. Now, the question I think that everybody tunes in for, and we kind of teased it with that assortment, but can you give a shout out to any of a couple new varieties that you and the Express crew are really excited to showcase at Spring 2026 spring trials, or maybe a couple sneak previews, what the attendees can expect to see?
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but it is like that's the point of this, right? So we're really going to have two goals: is to talk about our partnership agreements, like with ABZ strawberries. So ABZ is available from a lot of folks. They used to display. Gosh, I think it's been a long time since they've been at spring trials. They've gone through a lot of breeding work. There's a lot of new products since the last time they were there, and they haven't been featured. Because we work closely with them, we're giving them some space to talk about what's new in their garden performing, in their patio performing, in their double flowered, like absolutely gorgeous hanging basket with delicious strawberry products. So they will be there. We're going to represent some product from Bull Genetics. You might know them from Sun Magic and Sunbeckia, Echinaceas, and Rudbeckias. This is the exclusive distributor for the tissue culture for that program. So we're going to be talking about new varieties in that TC form for the people who show up. A big part of my job is helping to develop the vegetable and herb program. And I'm kind of excited to be showing, I won't name them all, but some new downy mildew resistant basils that are going to be available exclusively from Express. 3 different types, a purple and a couple of others. So if you want to know more about DM resistant basils, we're going to have a few to show off that you can only get from us. Yeah.
That is a great assortment.
Yeah, thanks. It's a little bit eclectic, and that's intentional. We are a full service broker and we sell everything. So when we're looking for something unique or different, it's going to be in a product form or something that's not directly in competition with everybody else up and down the coast. We're really trying to find ways to expand the market. So one of the cool things that there is a sorghum that came to us from our In-Flora Cut Flower Initiative has a series called Prairie Pearls, and the breeder of that bred multicolored flower heads for cut flowers, but also found a variegated foliage variety that we think is going to be really cool. And as a gallon by itself, as a standalone, it could be an interesting bedding, but as a thriller and mixed combos, that's going to be a lot of fun too. So a lot of unique stuff to see. I hope it's going to be a really good picture spot for people just to come back with some different ideas. It may not be, your million pot production, but some cool stuff.
I like it. And that is so much of what Spring Trials is about. It's the ideas. It's seeing products you can add to your mix. Sure, you're going to find some products that you can add to a series or to plants that you're already growing, but finding that new and unique, especially on the edibles side, the sorghum sounds crazy. I really can't wait to see that. I can't envision what the different colored flower heads would look like. So that's really cool.
Foliage, but yeah, it's going to be great.
Well, yeah, that sounds really cool. And I do look forward to seeing you guys in March and learning more about all the exclusives and stuff that Express is bringing out. So Scott, thank you so much for your time today.
Absolutely. I will be there for the whole event. Stop by, look for me. I'm excited to show you the Express way of doing business.
Excellent. Well, and now is the time to head over to the National Garden Bureau registration site at caspringtrials.us. You will find a link in the show notes. Get registered. And as Scott just said, there's a lot of products to see. So bring a bunch of people from your team, people who represent all the different facets of your business, because everyone has a different eye when it comes to new varieties. And don't forget to subscribe to the Tech on Demand podcast on your favorite app. That way you will never miss an episode.